Hello, dear listeners. Welcome back to our news channel. Students, today we are talking about something that's been in news a lot lately. It's about ceasefire between Israel and Hezbollah. Don't worry if this sounds complicated. We are here to explain it all. And by the end of this episode, you will know what a ceasefire is, why it is happening, and why it is important for the people in Israel, Lebanon, and the rest of the world. So let's dive in. First thing first, let's start with the basics. What is a ceasefire? Imagine you are playing a really intense game of dodgeball, okay? And both teams are throwing balls as fast as they can. But then the referee blows the whistle and calls for a pause. So everyone just gonna stop throwing for a while, right? Uh, Now think about their next moves, or maybe even um, can try to work things out. So a ceasefire is just like that. You're gonna just stop and take a break, like it happened in the game of a ball you are playing. So ceasefire is just like that, but instead of dodgeballs, it's a pause in fighting between two groups in a war. In this case, the two groups are Israel and Hezbollah, and they have agreed to stop fighting for now. But why does this matter? Well, wars hurt people. They destroy homes, schools, and hospitals, and they make life really, really hard for everyone who is involved. So, a ceasefire gives people a chance to feel safer, rebuild, and maybe even talk about peace. Now that we know that what a ceasefire is, let's talk about the two sides involved. We have Israel and Hezbollah. Yes, Israel and Hezbollah. Students, Israel is just uh, look at this map. Yes, here you can see Israel is just a country in the Middle East. It's a small country, okay? So it's a small country in the Middle East, but it has a big history and a strong army. On the other hand, we have a group, a side is called Hezbollah. And now this Hezbollah group is based in Lebanon, which is a neighboring country of Israel. So Hezbollah is not just a political group, they also have fighters and weapons. Okay? And for years, there have been problems between Israel and Hezbollah. Sometimes it's because of land, and sometimes because of politics, right? तो इस चीज़ों की वजह से, और आपको जैसे पता है कि काफ़ी टाइम से दोनों ही तरफ से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चल रहा है, राइट? और काफ़ी टाइम से अ, जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है जिसकी वजह से दोनों और नुकसान और इवन काफ़ी ज़्यादा, बहुत ज़्यादा हुआ है. So imagine this. It's early November 2024. Israel and Hezbollah, who have been bitter adversaries for decades, they have been clashing across this Lebanon and Israel border, with missiles raining down, soldiers mobilizing, and civilians living on both sides in constant fear. But then, almost out of nowhere, there's a ceasefire. Guns go silent. Troops start pulling back. What's going on? To understand this, we need to rewind a bit. This ceasefire isn't just any other ceasefire. It's based on agreement that mirrors uh, 2000, 2006 resolution by the UN, United Nations. ओके, तो 2006 का जो रिजोल्यूशन है उस पे बेस्ड ये सीज फायर है. उस टाइम पे क्या होता था कि बहुत ज़्यादा लड़ाई, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले ही बताया कि हेजबोला और इसराइल के बीच में हिस्ट्री रही है कॉन्फ्लिक्ट की। तो उस लड़ाई के बाद हेजबोला, इट वाज डिसाइडेड एंड देयर वर this resolution, there was basically a resolution called UNSCR 1701। और ये बात कब की है? 2006 की। तो एक रिजोल्यूशन साइंड हुआ था, रिजोल्यूशन बना था, अग्रीमेंट था जिसपे दोनों कंट्रीज ने अग्री किया था। और इस रेजोल्यूशन के अकॉर्डिंग कुछ रूल्स हैं, देयर आर सर्टेन रूल्स दैट हेजबोला would stay north of the Litani River. This is the Litani River. So Hezbollah would stay north of Litani River, and Israel would draw south of the blue line. ये जो आपको UN blue line दिख रही होगी, right? And the Lebanese army would control the buffer zone in between. तो ये जो बफर जोन है, ये कौन कंट्रोल करेगा? लेबनीज आर्मी, राइट? तो 2006 में रिजोल्यूशन साइन हुआ, एंड एज पर दिस रिजोल्यूशन हेजबोला विच इज अ ग्रुप बेस्ड इन लेबनान, it would stay north of the लिटानी रिवर. दिस इज लिटानी रिवर नॉर्थ साइड में. इसराइल कहाँ पे आएगा? इसराइल ब्लू लाइन के साउथ में. एंड दिस बफर जोन जो है, बफर जोन को कौन कंट्रोल करेगा? कहाँ कौन एम्प्लॉय होगा यहाँ पर? लेबनीज आर्मी. ओके, लेबनीज आर्मी. So fast forward to now, 18 years later, and here we are again. But this time, there's a twist. अब ट्विस्ट क्या है? United States and France are now part of the oversight mechanism, and both sides, Israel and Hezbollah, they are basically claiming victory. But the reason is, why did Israel agree to this? So let's explore. See, Israel ने क्यों मान लिया? अब ये भी तो देखना जाना जरूरी है कि आखिरकार दोनों जो ग्रुप्स हैं वो अग्री कैसे कर गए सीज फायर पे? कितने टाइम से जो सीज फायर चल रहा था, तो इस पे अग्री कैसे कर गए? स्टूडेंट्स, Israel, when we talk about Israel as a country, it's a country that prides itself on security and strength. ओके, तो इसराइल एक ऐसी कंट्री है, वो अपने आप में गर्व इस बात का है उन्हें कि स्ट्रेंथ है, सिक्योरिटी है. सो व्हाई अग्री टू अ सीज फायर विद अ ग्रुप लाइक हेजबोला? हेजबोला एक ग्रुप है, मिलिट्री ग्रुप है, एक्सट्रीमिस्ट ग्रुप है जो कि लेबनान बेस्ड है. तो वो अग्री क्यों किए? नाउ द प्राइम मिनिस्टर बेंजामिन नेतन्याहू gave three big reasons are listed out here. Yes. First is, Israel's military is stretched thin. Okay, so Hamas, when on October they launched a massive attack from Gaza, it killed civilians and it shook Israel's sense of safety. Then just later, days later, Hezbollah opened a second front from the north. तो एक तो पहले ही हमास के साथ लड़ाई चल रही थी, ऊपर से हेजबोला के साथ भी दोबारा से कॉन्फ्लिक्ट स्टार्ट हो गया. सो फाइटिंग ऑन टू फ्रंट्स इजंट इजी, even for one of the world's most advanced armies, and Israel needed a breather. Second, separating the two fronts was crucial. See, by dealing with Gaza and pausing the conflict with Hezbollah, Israel could focus on one enemy at a time. एक टाइम पे एक ही चीज पर फोकस कर सकते हैं. And Netanyahu called it separating the fronts. Yes, he called it separating the fronts. Right? Third, Israel needed time to, replenish supplies, regroup its forces, and prepare for future battles if needed. Because Israel military was, they have cleared their stance that fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon for too long would be costly, both in lives as well as in resources. तो एक breather time की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत थी, right? But that's not the whole story. There was also internal pressure, like some leaders within Israel, they were actually pursuing a ceasefire because prolonging the war in Lebanon could backfire. And historically, Israel's military campaigns in Lebanon have been tactfully successful, but otherwise, they were, you can say, a bit messy. And a drawn out conflict could again involve, it could, ensure that Hezbollah again gains strength. तो अगर कॉन्फ्लिक्ट चलता ही रहेगा तो इट विल समवेयर इट विल यू नो हेजबोला को कहीं ना कहीं और ज़्यादा स्ट्रेंथ इससे मिलती रहेगी and it's going to cause civilian casualties, and it would also draw international criticism. हमने देखा था कितने सारे इंटरनेशनल लेवल पर भी क्रिटिसाइज किया जा रहा था इसराइल के इस स्टेप को, राइट? नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, लेट्स फ्लिप द कॉइन. व्हाट अबाउट हेजबोला? उनके बारे में क्या, वो क्या सोच रहे हैं, एंड डिड दे जस्ट बैक डाउन? वेल स्टूडेंट्स, ऐसा नहीं है. Even though Hezbollah lost key leaders and suffered significant damage to its infrastructure, it still managed to launch hundreds of rockets at Israel. जब तक सीजफायर नहीं चलता हुआ तब तक उन्होंने रॉकेट्स लॉन्च किए हैं. So this wasn't a defeat for them. It was more like a strategic pause. And Hezbollah's narrative is simple. We are still standing and will rebuild. Their leader, Hassan Nasrallah, framed the ceasefire as a sign of resilience, not weakness. And let's not forget that Hezbollah remains deeply entrenched in Lebanese politics. They are not just a militant group, they are part of the Lebanese government. तो एक सिर्फ मिलिटेंट ग्रुप नहीं है. हेजबोला एक तरीके से आप कह सकते हो कि लेबनीज गवर्नमेंट के एकदम डीपली एंट्रेंच्ड है. सो व्हाट दिस सीज फायर एक्चुअली मीन? फॉर नाउ, सीज फायर the you know it's a fragile truce. You can call it a fragile truce क्योंकि बोथ इसराइल और हेजबोला दोनों ने जो सीज फायर के लिए डिसाइड तो किया है, but they have 60 days to pull their forces back to predefined position. और दोनों के पास 60 डेज तो हैं. लेकिन अगर हम बात करते हैं कि लेबनीज आर्मी अब हेजबोला वापस अपने फोर्सेस ले जाएंगे, इसराइल वापस फोर्सेस ले जाएंगे, और जो लेबनीज होंगे वो बफर जोन को कंट्रोल करेंगी, राइट? तो एक तरीके से देखा जाए तो लेबनीज आर्मी ही ओनली मिलिट्री फोर्स रहेगी उस एरिया में. बट there's something new here. The United States and France are part of the oversight mechanism. ये भी part है. And this is significant because it adds an international dimension to the ceasefire. So this gonna make it harder for either sides to break the agreement without consequences. अब आप ये देखो ना, उस टाइम पे जो था, एक ओवरसाइट करने के लिए कोई नहीं है. यूएन है, लेकिन अब यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स है और फ्रांस भी है कि ये अग्रीमेंट, ये जो सीज फायर है, इसको अच्छे से पालन इसका किया जा रहा है कि नहीं. And the ceasefire doesn't just affect Israel and Lebanon. It sends ripples across the region. First, Iran की अगर बात करें तो Hezbollah is Iran's biggest proxy in the region. And by agreeing to this ceasefire, Iran seems to be signaling that it's willing to de escalate for now. So, this could be part of a larger strategy to negotiate sanction relief or even improve relations with Arab neighbors. Right? तो सीज फायर्स अगर हम इस तरह से पूरे सिचुएशन को हमने समझ लिया अगर हम देखें सीज फायर लाइक दिस हाउएवर फ्रेजाइल ये अभी फ्रेजाइल तो है बट इट गिव पीपल अ चांस टू ब्रीथ टू रीबिल्ड एंड टू इमेजिन अ फ्यूचर विदाउट वॉर but for that to happen, both sides and their allies need to make real compromises. And that's the hardest part. So, what do you think? Th- Is this ceasefire a step towards peace or just a temporary truce? You can, share your thoughts in the comments below. That's all for today's episode. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, stay curious and stay informed.